Andy, a young man who had a big problem with laziness. He would often spend hours lounging on his couch, scrolling through social media and watching TV instead of doing something productive. One day, Andy realized that his laziness was preventing him from achieving his goals and living the life he wanted. He decided that he needed to make a change, but he wasn't sure where to start. So, Andy turned to his wise old neighbor, Mrs. Smith, for advice. Mrs. Smith had lived a long and fulfilling life and had a lot of wisdom to share. Mrs. Smith told Andy that the first step to overcoming laziness was to set goals for himself. She suggested that he write down his goals and break them down into small, manageable steps. Next, Mrs. Smith told Andy that he needed to develop a routine. She advised him to create a schedule and stick to it, even when he didn't feel like it. By establishing a routine, Andy would be able to build good habits and eventually overcome his laziness. Finally, Mrs. Smith told Andy that he needed to surround himself with positive and motivated people. She encouraged him to seek out friends and mentors who would support and encourage him as he worked towards his goals. With Mrs. Smith's advice in mind, Andy set out to overcome his laziness. He started by setting small, achievable goals for himself and working on them every day. He created a routine that included time for exercise, work, and relaxation. And he surrounded himself with positive, motivated people who helped him stay accountable and focused. Over time, Andy's efforts paid off. He became more productive and fulfilled than he had ever been before. He achieved his goals and even set new ones. And he was grateful to Mrs. Smith for helping him overcome his laziness and live the life he had always wanted.